And welcome to another show of What Does This Button Do? It's 2 o'clock Eastern Time. And what you doing over there? It's an educational show about smartphones and tablets with Geeks on Tour. We do invite you to become a member at geeksontour.com. Hi, I'm Jim, and together here with my wife, Chris, we're the Geeks on Tour. Do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? Do you have questions about your Android or your iPad or your tablet? And how do you learn about these amazing devices?
Well, we are geeks who teach, and we think the best way to learn is in bite-sized pieces on a regular basis. So that's why we came up with this show. We love learning about these things, and so there's always something new to teach. And on our website, geeksontour.com, we have prepared videos that teach some of the same stuff.
Well, right now we are in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We just returned from 2 weeks in England and Belgium. What a trip that was.
Oh, it was awesome. Our friends Phil and Tracy showed us around and gave us the royal treatment. And speaking of royal, now go back to that picture.
Okay.
Speaking of royal, that photo is us in front of Her Majesty the Queen's country home, Sandringham.
And today, Charlotte, her granddaughter, is being christened.
Yeah, so Sandringham is in the news today, and we were just there. In addition to many, many other places, we really had a fabulous time.
It was cool. All right. So I think we have a great show for you today. Let's start with a quick tip about voice control of the camera on the Samsung and voice dictation. Our beginner's lesson this week is about the 3 ways to get connected to the internet while you're traveling away from your home country.
Yeah, we learned a lot about that over in England, so that's what we want to share.
Right, and if you have questions, ask them there in the comments, and we'll try to get to them live during the show. Our app of the week this week is about theme park wait times, and the show is recorded on YouTube on our Geeks on Tour channel, so help yourself to that.
Okay, Michael Dorsey says he can see and hear us. That's good, because I'm not hearing us.
Okay, not to worry.
Okay.
You gotta laugh. I don't know whether you like Android or Apple. There's always somebody that thinks it's better one way or the other. We use both, so it really is not a problem. So you ready for your quick tip?
Sure.
Okay, let's do it.
So actually, we've covered this before in our episode 11 about talking to your device. But since we took a lot of selfies over in Europe, we use this feature a lot. And I want to show it on the Samsung camera app.
Okay.
So I'm just going to take a selfie, just in video.
All right.
And when you're taking a selfie, sometimes you have to hold the phone far away, and then you can't reach it to press the button. So this is just a great feature. I can say, shoot, and it takes the picture. Now, if you have a Samsung and you try that and it doesn't work, maybe you don't have the setting turned on. So let me show you where the setting is.
You need to screen share that.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
That's right. You don't see it unless I put it over there. Okay.
That's good.
So the settings are under that gear. I'm in the camera. I'm in the camera of a Samsung Galaxy S5. I tap the gear, and there's all sorts of settings. And there's even more that you don't see by moving the screen up. And there it is right there, voice control. Mine is on. If I tap it, it turns it off. And if I tap it again, it turns it on and tells me what I can say. So to take pictures, you can use those 4 words, smile, cheese, capture, or shoot. And to take video, you can do record video. Okay. The other thing I want to show you about talking to your device is dictation. For this, I'm just going to go into Facebook. And let's say I want to say something about the fact that we are giving our show right now, and I don't feel like typing on this little keyboard. Anytime you see a microphone on the keyboard, it means you can dictate rather than type. So I just tap on the little microphone. We are live right now doing our What Does This Button Do show. Hope you're watching. Smiley face. And it even puts a smiley face in there for me. I'm demonstrating using the dictation features of my smartphone. And post. This has gotten lots better over the years, and this is on an Android, but the same exact feature works on Apple, where, like I say, if you have your keyboard up and you see a microphone, you can do this.
Well, that's cool.
Okay,
and I just got the notification on my Pebble watch that
I posted
that
to
you
Facebook.
posted to Facebook. Technology is just really going crazy here, and we have so much technology as we travel these days.
All right.
Okay.
Move that one back. Now, do we have any? We still have somebody else saying they can see and hear us.
Okay, that's
Michael
good.
says our map makes it kind of busy in the background. That's our world map. We like to think that we are travelers now, not just of the United States.
We are world travelers.
We are world travelers now.
All right.
So the beginner's lesson is about how to get internet if you travel outside of your home country. Well, there's 3 ways, and we used them all over in England and in Belgium. First of all, there's Wi-Fi. Everybody should understand how to connect their phone to a Wi-Fi hotspot. And there are plenty of Wi-Fi hotspots all over the place. Some of them you need a password. Some of them are wide open. There are still McDonald's over in Europe, and they have Wi-Fi. We recommend that when you're using Wi-Fi, you turn off your mobile data because that will save battery. So even if you do not have access to any cell towers, any mobile data while you're outside of your home country, you should turn that off, and we will show you how to do it. So this is just a discussion. Roaming. Check with your provider and see if maybe your plan allows for you to roam in Rome or wherever you're going. So for example, Jim actually had 2 phones with him that allowed roaming at no extra charge.
And one of those phones is brand new, and it's still experimental. This is the Google Project 5 phone, and it uses both Sprint and T-Mobile and Wi-Fi. So the whole idea with this phone is that if Wi-Fi is available and acceptable, it'll make all of its calls using Wi-Fi. But it'll also roam on the T-Mobile network internationally and in Sprint wherever it's available. So this phone was the connection that I used most while we were overseas. We also got the iPhone. This is an iPhone 6 Plus, and it's on T-Mobile. We got that when we first got back to Florida, and it works really well. And where we are here now, our regular phones are still the Samsungs on Verizon because it has unlimited data, and wherever we travel in the United States, it is the best connection. So whatever you got, we're
So
geeks.
it was true. This did work, and there was no extra charge. So that was way cool.
Yeah.
And then the third way of connecting, and I get more on the next slide. The third way of connecting is by buying a SIM card from a provider in the country where you are traveling. Now, SIM stands for subscriber information module or subscriber identity module. And basically, if you put the SIM card from a UK company into your American phone, you now have a UK phone. That's
tiny
how it
things.
works. Yeah. Itsy bitsy little things.
All right.
We call that bring your own phone, BYOP. So the SIM card gives you the service and you just bring your own phone.
Now, we know some people who travel extensively overseas, and they keep all of their SIM cards in a little baggie, and wherever they happen to be, whatever country they're in, they pull one out, put it into their device, and then they top it off with data or top it off with their voice.
Yeah, the card itself is like 99 cents. Or actually, it was 99p, which is about $1.50.
Okay.
It's just 99 cents to buy the card. Then you have to fill it. You have to top it off with service.
Right.
Right. Next one. All right. So roaming. That, if your plan allows for roaming, then you don't have to do a thing. So roaming is a way cool way to connect to the internet overseas. And on this slide on the left, it shows that T-Mobile does have automatic coverage. You don't have to do anything in 120 plus countries and destinations. And if you go to their website, you can find this page and see all of the countries. So I noticed, who was it? Somebody said they might be traveling on to Taiwan. Take a look at T-Mobile's website and see if they have coverage in Taiwan. I do not know. Now, where we really used it was for navigation. Google Maps. There are navigation programs that you can get that put all the maps right on your device locally, so you don't need internet. But we try that. We like Google Maps so much better.
Google Maps is the best, and it works on both Android and Apple devices. So,
and because of Jim's roaming capabilities, he was able to use either his iPhone or his Google phone and do most of the navigation, even in France and Belgium.
Right.
Not just UK. All right, just by comparison, on this slide on the screen is what Verizon would charge to roam. $25 per 100 megabytes.
No, thank you.
That would last us about, what, 4 hours? So no, I am not going to use roaming on Verizon. All right, and there's one more slide, and then I'm going to go to demonstration.
Go ahead.
Oh. So SIM cards. You say subscriber identity modules. In the UK, they're available in the grocery store checkout lines. But what we learned, we bought one in the grocery store checkout line. And you put it in your phone, and then it comes up with a message with a phone number to call to pay for service. Well, you had to have a credit card with a UK address in order to pay for service that way. Luckily, our good friend Phil let us borrow his, but therefore we tried another way, and we bought a card at a phone store. That's the slide in the lower left here. A phone store in Hastings called Phone House. Look at all these SIM card discards. They do this all day in and out. At the phone stores, you could pay cash, and they came up with a coupon that would add the service to your phone. And this particular store and the particular service they sold, they knew about a promotion code that gave us unlimited data.
And that worked in Belgium? No, it worked in France, and it worked in the UK. It did not work on your phone in Belgium.
Correct. So there's little differences in all of these things.
But my stuff worked everywhere we went. Sometimes it was better than even what Phil had in the UK for his local service.
Right. Yeah, I was really impressed with the T-Mobile service in UK, France, and Belgium.
Right.
Okay. Now, to insert a card. Rather than showing you this live, it's so tiny, we have just a 1-minute video. So here is, and yeah, I don't want to do it this way. Here is a video of how you insert a SIM card. On my phone, you can take the back off and take the battery out, and that reveals where both the SD card is and the SIM card is underneath it. Now, a little hint, if it's hard to get out, maybe a piece of tape, something sticky to pull it out with. So that is the card that we bought over in UK. That one is a micro SIM card. And you just put it in the slot provided. And then on my phone, there's another slot for my storage card, my SD. Put the battery back in, put the cover back on. I now have a UK phone. It is now a UK phone. Okay, on the iPad or iPhone, it's a little bit different. There's this tiny little hole that you have to push to make it work. And I'm still gonna go. And you need a special tool. If you don't have the special tool, you can use a paper clip or even an earring stud. That was a trick that Tracy showed us. You push in this little hole, and then the cover kind of starts to pop out. You pull the cover out, and it reveals a holder for and now this is a nano card, a nano SIM card, very tiny. But once it's in the holder, and after you did that a couple times, you got good at it.
Yeah, the first time I dropped it on the floor and had to scramble around trying to find it. But after that, yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Okay. So that's where a SIM card goes. Now, it might be different in your device. You might have to look in your user's manual and see exactly where a SIM card goes. But you take out the SIM card from your home country. And some phones, this won't work at all. It does have to be a unlocked phone.
So not all phones work. And if you have a cover on your phone, like I do on most of my phones, you may have to take that cover off in order to access that slot.
Okay, but so that's how you take out the old card and put it in a very safe place.
Please.
These things,
because you're going to need that when you get back home.
These things are so tiny.
Right.
And then what you pay, where is the one that, yeah, here. What you pay, I was surprised. It's not bad at all. Here's the one card that we bought, and it says for £10, which is like $15 right now, you get phone minutes and text and just 500 megabytes of data. So for £20, $30, you get 2 gigabytes of data. For £30, you get 4 gigabytes of data. And you get a UK phone number. So we were able, once I put a SIM card into my phone, we were able to give people a local British phone number to call. All right, so now that you know how you get a SIM card, how much it costs, and how to put it in, there's still some settings. And for both the Android and the iPhone, I want to show the settings you need to know for the 3 types: the Wi-Fi, the roaming, and the SIM card.
Okay.
All right, so first on the Android.
Got it.
For Wi-Fi, so let's say that you just don't want to incur any other expenses. You've decided you're not going to do anything special with your data. You want to use Wi-Fi. Well, you need to get to your settings. This is on the Samsung. And Wi-Fi. And turn it on. And we did do one of our earlier shows on this as well. As soon as you turn it on, it will show you if there are any Wi-Fi hotspots available. So you need to pick one that you either know the password to, you know, the hotel, for example, or one that is wide open, that is unsecured. and you are now on Wi-Fi. You will see a little symbol in your status bar that looks like radio waves and 2 arrows showing you that you're on Wi-Fi. But notice that for me, I'm still on 4G as well. I want to turn that off. There's 2 ways. You can either go into airplane mode, turn on airplane mode.
Now that'll turn off all of your radios, right?
Including phone. Yeah, so there's another way too. So notice we have a little airplane there. Oh, and because I did it after the Wi-Fi was on, it turned the Wi-Fi off as well. But you can turn the Wi-Fi back on after airplane mode.
And the same thing with Bluetooth. You can turn your Bluetooth back on. Airplane mode turns off all the radios except for GPS receiver.
All right. So now we are in airplane mode, which will save battery because your phone is not looking for cell towers. But we have internet because we're on a Wi-Fi. Now the other way, let's say that you do have a plan that allows you to make phone calls when you're abroad. So you don't want to use airplane mode then, but you still want to prevent it from trying to roam onto foreign cell towers. Well, then you need to go into more networks and just turn off, go into mobile networks and say, no, do not use mobile data. Do not try to connect to cell towers. Video calls will not work when mobile data is off. Also, you will not be able to use internet, email, or other apps unless you connect to a Wi-Fi network. Turn off mobile data. Okay. So now we could still get a phone call if your plan allows it. We are on the internet because of a Wi-Fi hotspot, but we're not using any cellular data. So that's Wi-Fi. Now, let me turn that back off. And I can do that in the shortcut. I can just, what did I do? I turned off my light. There. Phew. Turn off Wi-Fi. And what about roaming? If you have a plan that allows roaming, like T-Mobile, you have to tell your phone to allow roaming. And that is in your settings, in your more networks, and mobile networks. And first, we need mobile data back on. And then here's global data roaming access. And you can either deny it. I usually have it denied because I don't want to accidentally roam when we're near the Canadian or the Mexican border.
Absolutely. A lot of people get into trouble that way and they incur huge bills after that. It's bad.
Yeah. Or you can allow just for this trip or for all trips. Right. And last, if you do buy a SIM card in your mobile networks, it needs to have the access point name, APN. So if I inserted this UK SIM card into this phone right now, I would then be able to tap the plus and add another APN.
And you get that information from, basically you Google it to get the information about your username and your password for the access point.
So for example, if you bought a Vodafone SIM card in the UK, you would just Google for Vodafone APN settings in the UK.
And it's up there.
And this would tell you what settings you need to put into that mobile network APN. Okay.
Wow, that's pretty complicated, but it isn't that hard to do.
And you only have to do it once. Okay. All right, so same 3 things on the iPhone. First, Wi-Fi. In settings, turn on Wi-Fi and pick a hotspot. Ours is automatically going to that one. If you're using hotspot, you probably want to turn off your cellular data. So you just go into cellular data and turn it off. Or if you prefer to turn off your voice as well, an easy way is the shortcut for airplane mode. And as I did before, when you turn airplane mode on after Wi-Fi, airplane mode turns off the Wi-Fi. So you would have to turn Wi-Fi back on. And last, where are those APN settings? If you want to use a SIM card in here, you need to go into your cellular data network and enter the APN settings after looking them up. All right, so really that isn't too bad. 3 ways to connect, and that's Wi-Fi, or roaming, or by buying a SIM card. And with Wi-Fi, you turn on Wi-Fi and pick a Wi-Fi hotspot, and you should turn off your cellular data. For roaming, you need your cellular data on, and you need roaming to be on. And for a SIM card, you need to know where to put the settings. Now, some SIM cards on some phones might set those settings automatically. I mean, I think ours, we got a text message saying just click here to set it up, and it just didn't work. So we had to figure out how to go in and do it manually.
There were configuration settings inside that text message, but it didn't work on that phone.
Yeah. And if you're willing to do any of those, you can navigate all over Europe.
And make phone calls and get texts. So it really was pretty slick. And I did get a couple of phone calls while we were over there on my Nexus phone, because this one's plugged in or set up for our business telephone number. So if you dial our business telephone number, actually all of our phones will ring, but this one will ring over there. I didn't even take my Samsung phone with us. I had enough technology.
More than 2, yeah.
So now I have 3 phones and 2 tablets and too much.
Enough,
right.
Huh? Okay, Gail says, next time need hints on cruise ship use of internet and phone, both on ship and in ports. Well, in ports, most of what we've just talked about would apply.
Right.
Of course, if you're in a different country every time you come to port, then the SIM card probably won't be a good idea.
We might take a look at Bahamas SIM cards for when...
Oh, yeah. We won't be on a cruise ship, but...
No, we'll be on a cruise, though. Sort of.
Sort of.
A dive cruise should be fun.
Yeah, we don't have much experience on cruise ships. They have their own Wi-Fi. The only time we have been on a cruise ship and tried the Wi-Fi,
it was horrible.
It was worthless. It was really, really worthless.
It was expensive and extremely slow.
But when we got off at a port of call, we found a pub and we connected to their Wi-Fi. So that still works. And if you have a T-Mobile and you're in a country where the T-Mobile works, that should work.
All right.
I don't see any other questions.
Well, there's a slide up here that says subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also put your comments in there and we'll find them hopefully as we go along.
All right. You have an app you want to show?
I do. Well, somewhere. It's over there on that phone. So why don't we bring that back up?
So this is, we try to have a little something for everybody on this. In addition to the beginner's lesson, we do the quick tips in the beginning and an app at the end.
Okay.
So your app.
Screen on here. Okay, my app was Disney wait times. Actually, we use this when we took the grandkids and took them over and took to Disney, and we wanted to have wait times because you know how long it's going to take. With grandkids, they don't have a whole lot of patience, might I say. So we got this app. It's free download. It's advertising on there. If you want to pay 99 cents, you can get rid of it. And they also have this for theme parks all over. Universal had it. Universal had a nice one because you could actually put in some times that some triggers. So if the time went below, the wait time went below half an hour, for instance, it would tell you that right away you can go ahead and run over to that attraction.
Okay, I had to turn off airplane mode.
Oh, right.
In order for your phone to work again.
Okay, so Disney Experience, Walt Disney World, and they have this for Disneyland, for Universal, for Busch Gardens, for pretty much whatever place you want to go. They have all of these over there. And
yeah, so you can just, I think you can even just type in theme parks. And we figure a lot of you are going to be taking the grandkids to
kids
to theme parks this summer. And these also have maps. It'll tell you where the nearest restrooms are.
That's handy.
and a description of what the attractions are, so you can decide whether or not you want to go. Disney World. God, look at them all. Okay, so there's the wait times. Theme park trivia, so something you can play with the kids in the car on the way there.
Too much fun.
All right.
So if you're in or planning on going to one of these parks, get these apps. They're really, really handy, and just look them up and download them. You have all of that information right at your fingertips. So much you can do.
Okay.
All right. Very cool. Where are we? Like us on Facebook. Did you learn something? There's our review questions. The 3 ways to get internet while traveling out of your country.
Number 1 is Wi-Fi hotspots. And remember to turn off your cellular data then. Number 2 is roaming, either paying a lot of money for it or having a provider like T-Mobile that gives it no extra charge. Or number 3, you can buy a SIM card. Now it occurred to me, we know a lot of people that travel back and forth between Canada and the U.S.
That's true. A lot of snowbirds come down.
Why not buy a SIM card? They are not as readily available in the United States as they are in the UK. But I'll bet there's some.
Yeah. Check it out.
That Walmart, I think, even might have a SIM card thing that you can buy.
Pay as you go.
Pay as you go is the point there.
Okay. In the UK, you can buy SIM cards at the checkout stand at many stores. We found it was better to find a phone store. Why?
The main reason is because you could pay in cash. If you buy a SIM card at the checkout stand and insert it in your phone, you then have to make a phone call and give a credit card, and they would only accept a local credit card. But secondly, you could ask the phone store to install the card and make sure it works before you walk out the door. That's nice.
Yeah, we spent a little bit of time in that phone store just getting this one to work.
We did, and there was no extra. All I paid was £20, and that on that particular service, the 3 service, got us unlimited data.
It was great. Okay, true or false? If you install a UK SIM card, your phone will now have a UK phone number.
That's right.
Absolutely true.
That's right. BYOP. You don't need to buy another phone, just buy the guts of the phone, the SIM card.
Right. True or false? T-Mobile US data plans include free roaming in Europe.
Now, yeah, true. Absolutely true. I was so impressed. Now, it's not a high speed. It wasn't 4G. Is that right?
Right. It was actually 2G, in some cases 3G, even though we were getting some good signal. We were not going at the highest speed. And I received a text on that would tell me, if you wanted to pay extra for higher speed, now we didn't do that. You could just go to the website and add some high speed stuff on there. But we found it completely acceptable for doing texts, for doing voice, and for the navigation, which was so important for us. I have an article coming up in our newsletter this month about navigation and maps and those things. So stay tuned for that.
More to come.
If you use the free roaming, check your roaming settings at...
That's in your phone settings under mobile networks or cellular networks, depending on which device you have, and global roaming. That has to be turned on in order to use roaming.
Okay. So, Chris, what's the web page that lists all of our weekly shows?
geeksontour.com, and just click on the menu item for weekly shows. They're all listed there.
And how about the web page that lists our recent newsletters?
Also, geeksontour.com, and the menu item is blogs and articles. Newsletters is under there.
Okay, we're making some changes on the website too, so...
Yeah, if the menu items aren't exactly the same...
Things are going to be changing, and that's a good thing. What benefits do you get by joining Geeks on Tour?
Number one, access to all our tutorial videos. You know, I'm about to break 400 in my numbering. And those are like 5-minute tutorial videos on all the topics we teach. Number two, you can ask us questions in our member Q&A forum. And number three, you get the show notes for these What Does This Button Do show with direct links. So if you want to just review how to insert a SIM card, there will be a direct link to that piece of the video instead of having to watch the whole thing.
Very handy. Okay, we do invite you to become a member. Just visit our website, geeksontour.com, click on Join Now, and you can get all that information. How much is it?
$68 for 1 year, or $58 if you sign up for a recurring.
Okay, next time will be...
Oh, I didn't do that.
Somebody didn't change a date.
So yeah, see you next week. We will still be here. We'll be back in the RV, probably.
Probably.
Although we might stretch out our stay here to have this landline fast internet for one more show, but we'll probably be in the RV headed up towards our first rally in West Virginia.
West Virginia, and we will be doing the Newmar Country Club.
Yeah, and our topic, our beginner's lesson topic next time will be on Google Photos again, because we took 2,000 photos between the two of us in England, and maybe we'll even see if we could get Phil and Tracy to join us too and talk a little bit about how we all used Google Photos. It was
tremendous.
It's impressive. It's really impressive. It's not perfect, but what it does is impressive, and we want to keep showing you about it.
Okay, that's about all we have. So we'll see you next week on What Does This Button Do?
Just keep pressing those buttons. What does this button do?
Don't do that button.
Yeah.